Welcome back to Mindfulness with Laura. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. And today we're going to be incorporating some of those mindfulness skills that we discussed in the last video into our yoga practice. Again, I love starting my practice with just a moment to get in tune with my breathing, to settle into my body. Today is all about getting some flexibility and stretch in the hips. Laying down on my belly, just being aware of how the rise and fall of my belly with my breath relaxes the body and allows me to sink in. I really love taking each movement, each pose slowly. Bending my knees here, soles of the feet facing the sky. Just observing how my body feels in this position. Coming up into a little modified Sphinx here. Activating those shoulder blades, lower back. Inhaling as I rise, exhaling as I lower. Placing my forehead on my forearms. As I allow my feet to fall over to one side as I exhale. Getting a nice gentle stretch in the hips here. Nice gentle twist. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Nice and slow. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Just getting in tune with breath and movement. Slowing down. Observing sensation in the body. Placing my palms on the mat, lifting, activating those shoulder blades, and pushing back with the arms into child's pose. Resting the forehead on the mat, getting back in tune with my breathing, always coming back to the breath. If we notice we're getting distracted or thoughts or worries come up, just coming back to our breathing. Imagining that as we inhale, that oxygen is flowing through us. Coming into our quadruped position now, taking that moment to tune in with our alignment. Slight bend in the elbows, wrists in line with the shoulders, and if we notice that we have a lot of strain on the wrists, we can always make fists to take off some of that pressure. Knees are in line with the hips here. Nice elongated spine. Dropping that belly, lifting the head for our cow, and shifting that spine upward for cat. Lifting as we inhale, contracting as we exhale. Dropping the belly, lifting the head as we inhale. Shifting that spine toward the sky, dropping the head between the elbows as we exhale for our cat-cow. creating flexibility in the spine and the shoulders. As we exhale, tuck that knee toward the chin. Inhale, lift, rise, and open. Exhale, tucking the knee. Inhale, expanding. Really activating that core here. Activating that right hip. And playing around here, finding what feels good on that hip for you, to just open it, to create flexibility in that joint. Resting in our child's pose whenever we need. We can always come back to child's pose for a rest, for a reconnect. Exhale, tucking the knee. Inhale, expanding. Nice, slow, controlled movements here. Keeping those hips aligned with the mat. Using the breath to guide the movement. Breath and body. Maybe opening that hip. Just listening to what your body needs, listening to what feels good in the moment. Resting back into our child's pose. Again, reconnecting with your breathing. Finding that stillness in the breath. Opening that hip on the right side as we're in our quadruped position. Holding, breathing. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift, holding, feeling grounded here. Exhale, release. Tucking the toes, making our way into our downward dog. And again, it's not about forcing the heels to the mat. It's really about elongating the spine. Maybe shaking your head yes or no. Shifting that weight forward into our plank. Lowering down, nice and controlled here for chaturanga as we hover above the mat. And slowly lower down. Inhale, coming into our upward dog. Maybe allowing that head to fall back. Exhale, lower. Inhale, pushing back into our child's pose. Reconnecting with the breath. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale. Nice low lunge here. Or kneeling lunge. Again, the goal is to open the hips, settle into the hips. Inhale, rising the arms overhead. Feeling strength through the body here. Shifting our weight back now into our half split. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, half split. Finding that gentle flow. releasing, coming back to our child's pose whenever we need to reconnect with the breath. Inhale, downward dog. Couple breaths here. Inhale, coming into our lunge or kneeling lunge. On our next inhale, we begin to rise, arms overhead. Exhale, release. Shifting our weight back into our half split. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, half split. Again, opening the hips. Realigning, regrounding. Inhale, go ahead, bringing that right knee forward. Exhale, releasing into our pigeon pose. So nice deep stretch for that hip. Again, using the breath, using the exhale to settle into the pose, to drop in. Tuning the world out, just being present with breath and movement. Inhale, rise, release. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, quadruped. Connecting with the breath, and on our next inhale, bringing that left knee forward. Gently, carefully using the breath to lower down, resting our forehead, resting into the stretch. Breathing into that left hip. Releasing tension. Letting go of stress. Releasing here. Coming now into a wide leg child's pose as we exhale. Maybe even releasing the arms here to just allow the shoulders to let go of tension. Again, feeling connected to the earth. Rolling up nice and slow. Readjusting how we need. As we come into our hero's pose, maybe listening to the body, it might be asking for some shoulder rolls or gentle neck rolls. Again, listen to your body, your unique needs. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. On your next inhale, begin to rise up into a kneeling pose. Exhale, hands to heart as you lower down. Just finding your own natural flow with the rhythm of your unique breath. Inhale, rise, expanding. Exhale, lowering. Shifting now onto our sit bone. Knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat. Bringing our arms out to our side to use that core strength here. And on our next exhale, begin to lower down. Nice and controlled. Keeping that core activated. Lowering as slowly and intentionally as you can. Also accepting that if we flop down on the mat, that's part of being human. Inhale, release, stretching the body. I like to call it yawning the body out, expanding as far as the body can go. Exhale, release. Inhale, knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat. Hugging that left knee toward the chest here. Again, giving it a nice squeeze toward the chest. Making our way into our supine pigeon pose, which is also a wonderful stretch for the hips. Interlocking those fingers over that opposite knee as we hug that knee toward the chest. Breathing here. Exhale, release. Switching sides now, interlocking those fingers over that right knee and shin. Squeezing that knee toward the chest, but never forcing. Breathing here. Exhale, release. Bringing our arms out into a T. And on our next exhale, we'll allow those knees to gently fall over to the right. Nice gentle twist. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. It can take a lot of intention to slow down our movements, to slow down our breathing, observing without judgment. Inhale, rise. Exhale, knees to chest. Maybe rocking back and forth here. Side to side. Exhale, release. Beginning to open those knees here, soles of the feet together for our cobbler pose. Maybe placing our hands on our belly to stay in tune with that diaphragmatic breathing. Belly breathing. Allowing that exhale to let the knees fall just a little closer to the earth. Observing the breath. Being present in the moment without judgment, without assumption or expectation. Inhale, gently releasing the knees. Maybe tuning in to what your body needs. And I think my body needed a waterfall in this moment. Flexing and pointing the toes. Allowing that blood flow to change directions. And exhale. Releasing the body. finding a nice natural rhythm that feels effortless for our breathing. And while this practice today was a shortened version, it really provides a few gentle and deep hip stretches and poses that we can do to tune into the body, to observe, and to be present.
Thank you so much for joining me for my third YouTube video on Mindful-ish. I appreciate you. And remember that DBT, mindfulness, yoga, it all goes hand in hand. We're just learning to be more present in our bodies, in our mind, and in our experiences, because that's what life is all about. So I appreciate you. Thank you again for joining. Hope to see you next time.